WhiskyJason here, Whiskey Live Dublin 2024, together with
Brian Nation, Master Distiller of Keeper's Heart.
and legend in the Irish whiskey industry. I just want to hear you laugh. I love your laugh. I must admit that. All right, very good. So you're the guy who left Middleton and went to the U.S.
Absolutely.
with your family, basically in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
You moved from the wonderful mild temperatures of Ireland to the, let's say, the winter
Not so
weather.
mild temperatures in Minneapolis.
So I was born in Erie, Pennsylvania, so I know that type of weather.
Very
right?
good,
So,
very
yeah.
good.
That's why my parents moved down to Virginia, and you moved there.
Yeah.
So how are you doing?
It's going great. It's absolutely fantastic. Look, it was a massive opportunity, I suppose, an opportunity to be involved in building a brand from the ground up.
Yeah.
And, at the time, easy option would have been to stay.
Yes.
But for me, I said, look, let's give it a go. Let's see what it's like.
Right.
And to be honest with you, it's been fantastic. The whole journey from, being involved in building the distillery, building up the blends, then building up actually producing our triple pot distilled rye, or triple pot distilled bourbon, and American single pot still. The whole journey has been fantastic. And most importantly, we're having fun along the way as well, which is really important.
That is important, isn't it? Very good. So let's talk about the whiskeys first on the market. Let's talk about what's to come. So which bottle should we pick first?
So the first one, really, this is the first release, which is Keeper's Heart Irish plus American. Just to give you a little bit of background, the vision of Keeper's Heart is to bring the best of both Irish and American distilling traditions together. And we do it in two ways. Number one is the blending that we're doing, where we're sourcing Irish whiskey from Great Northern Distillery, 4-year-old pot still, 4-year-old grain. And then we're sourcing American whiskey from MGP in Indiana, which is 4-year-old rye and 4-year-old bourbon. And then we blend these together at our distillery in Minneapolis. And what we're actually creating is a whiskey that portrays both the influence of Irish and American in one bottle. Right. So it really gives an extra dimension of flavour, taste, complexity and balance that you wouldn't necessarily get with 100% Irish or 100% American whiskey. The reaction to it has been amazing. This one, which is the Irish plus American, is a blend of Irish pot still, Irish grain whiskey and American rye. And that actual mix has really brought forward, you get a lovely kick of rice spice, but then it's followed by the herbal earthiness of the pot still. It actually gives you almost like, the way I describe it when we taste it, is got this confectionery sweetness, almost like candied ginger, that really lingers on the palate. And then when you come to your finish, you're getting that combination of freshly charred oak, but also a beautiful barley cereal note, which for me is very important because of the influence of the pot still element on the rye as well.
Great. And the next bottle?
So the next bottle would be our second release, which is our Irish plus bourbon. So Irish plus bourbon is a blend of Irish pot still, Irish grain whiskey and bourbon. With the first whiskey we looked at, the Irish plus American, that was more Irish forward. Right. This one tends to be more bourbon on the nose, and the reason we did that is that when you're looking at getting an influence for, particularly when you want to convert American whiskey drinkers to this, you want to give them the comfort factor of the bourbon. Yeah. But then what happens is they get this huge, massive surprise of the influence of the pot still on the palate. Yeah. And it really has surprised people. And what I think it does is it brings that Irish dimension into your bourbon influence, where you've got your corn sweetness, you've got your perfume, your pepperiness, and then the herbal earthiness of the pot still kicks in. And what it does is it almost tricks the mind into thinking, my God, what am I drinking? And I think that what it also has done is it kind of does remove some of that sometimes robust wood finish. And what it does is it brings a lovely kind of smoothness to the final finish of the whiskey, but also brings the barley cereal note in towards the end as well.
Wonderful. All right, and of the three bottles here, maybe the last of the least?
Yeah, so this is our 10-year-old single malt.
Yep.
This is 10-year-old single malt that we source from Great Northern Distillery. It's ex-Cooley Distillery, actually. And, the quality of that single malt is whiskey that you could have put in a bottle on its own and just would be very proud of the result. But we wanted to do something quite different to it in order to give it a little bit of a lift and to bring some of our own innovation to it. So we decided to finish it in Malaga wine barrels. Now, for me, Malaga wine barrels really do give a beautiful influence, and I've always loved the influence of Malaga wine. And what it did was just put it in there for a few months in order to, first of all, bring a little bit of a textured mouthfeel. Because sometimes 10-year-old single malt can be that little bit dry on the palate.
Okay,
so by putting it in a barrel like this, it brings a little silky mouthfeel to the whiskey. But then it also adds some beautiful honey sweetness, apricot, stone fruit and almond nuttiness. But doesn't take away from the true DNA of that malt whiskey. It has a fantastic biscuity, cereal and fruitiness from the actual distillate itself. So really has been a great reaction to our whiskey. It was voted Best Irish Whiskey for 2023 in the San Francisco International Spirits Competition, something that we're really proud of.
Of course.
And, you know, it just showcases again that while we're doing this whole Irish-American blends together as well, we're also proud to bring single malt Irish whiskies to the market as well.
Excellent. Keeper's Heart, why that name?
So there was a lot of thought and effort went into the actual name. We didn't just throw the whole idea of a logo and brand to an agency and come back with something to us. We worked every day on this to try and make it our own.
Were you part of it?
I was part of it.
I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Okay, I thought the name was already there before.
No,
Not even that. Oh,
so
good.
absolutely. What we did was, it was funny because when I couldn't travel during COVID in Ireland, they used to have a meeting at 3 p.m. every Wednesday to discuss brand and logo and all of that. And it was 9 p.m. in Ireland, and it was supposed to be a 1-hour meeting. 1 a.m. in the morning, you're still on this call. But it was a fantastic process to go through because it got everybody to take complete ownership of the whole brand. And we came up with the brand Keeper's Heart for many different reasons. Keepers is a nod to the barkeep. And if you really want to build a brand and have advocacy, you really want the bartender to be your advocate for your brand. It's also keepers of quality, which is bringing to the process.
I did not think of the barkeepers. I thought of the keepers of
quality.
Quality.
Yeah,
Yes.
but then it has an emotional point of view as well, which is I'm your brother's keeper, I'm your sister's keeper. And then a heart is a nod to the quality, the heart of the distillate, but also the heart and passion of the people at Keeper's Heart to really bring this brand to life. And then there's some lovely Easter eggs around the logo as well. You've got the words Fugit Ora, which means the hour flies. And if you consider everything that we have been through over the last number of years, it was very fitting to put that on because, you know, it really is all about making the best of the moments we're keeping. And also, that is the family motto of the O'Shaughnessy family, who are the co-founders of the distillery. So we had a lot, and then if you look at the actual logo itself, you have a lovely pair of keys. They signify the spirit safe, and they have a heart and a K and a H. Then you have a clock to signify the time, and then at the 12 o'clock you've got a castle with a window with a little drop perceived by a drop of whiskey, and that's the keep, where you store your most prized possessions. And if you come to our facility and come and visit us, we bring people to do their tasting down in the keep, where we showcase all of the whiskies that we have. So it's really, there was a lot of thought and effort put into it. And even the very design of the bottle, the bulge on the neck of the bottle is actually to signify the OG on our pot still. So we put a lot of thought, and I think that was important for us because it gave us ownership of the brand itself. Now
let's talk about the distillery. So it's been running now for what?
So we've been running the distillery since August 2021.
2021. Okay,
so
good.
We've been laying down stocks.
Almost 3 years now.
So we've been laying down stocks of American single pot stills, so using that quintessential style of mash bill of malted barley and non-malted barley.
Are you using different mash bills or only one mash bill?
We're using one mash bill for the American single pot still at the moment, and then we're distilling it 3 times in copper pot stills. And
beautiful. Go to the website. Look at, you have some great photography and a great.
It's an amazing space because it's 30,000 square feet, 15,000 square feet of operations, and 15,000 square feet of hospitality. And one of the big things that happen when you go in the door of the hospitality, the 3 pot stills are looking out through a window at you, and it's an amazing experience for someone that sees it for the first time. So we're Americanizing that American single pot still by maturing it in virgin American oak barrels. And to do that, we produced a heavier style of pot still to be able to cope with the virgin American oak. That's maturing now, and it will hit 3 years in September, and we will launch it in Q4 of 2025.
Oh, good.
And then we're also producing a triple pot distilled rye, first time ever that there'll be a triple pot distilled rye in the market. And we're also producing a triple pot distilled bourbon. And what's fantastic about that is that they're American whiskies, but they taste unlike any rye or bourbon that you have in the market today.
Yeah.
And we're tasting people on the distillate and on maturing distillate at the moment, and to see the excitement in people's eyes is really great for us, because it's one thing for us to like what we do, but if other people coming in from the outside taste it and actually like it, that gives us a lot of confidence going forward.
Sure.
So there's a lot happening on a day-to-day basis there. It's a great place to come visit. We're right alongside Surly Brewing in Prospect Park, and that in itself is an area that has really developed over the last couple of years, and people are beginning to see it as a destination place to go and visit the brewery or go and visit the distillery, and there's some fantastic food hall around there as well. So it's a great place to come and visit. So if you are in Minneapolis, if you are looking for something to do, come visit us in Prospect Park.
Very good. I'm asking everyone one last question. It's about water. Now, in Kentucky, they say limestone hard water is the best. In Scotland, they say the soft water is the best. All right, we're now in Minneapolis. What type of water?
We're actually taking our water from an underground well, it's actually coming from a limestone aquifer.
All right.
It has great, the one thing about the water is the mineral content from the limestone aquifer allows you to have a great brewing process taking place and assist in the fermentation.
Don't they?
So from that point of view, we're very fortunate with the aquifer that we have, and it's great to be able to take that natural source and to be able to put it through your process.
Right.
And at the end of the day, obviously water has an influence, but when you're doing a triple distillation process, you're moving further away from the water element, and you're really concentrating more on the fermentation and the distillate side of things. But for us, we're lucky to have that aquifer available to us to draw from on a regular basis. And it's the same aquifer that the brewery next door are using, so it's good water.
And capacity, what are you at capacity? How much
So
are you making a year?
We have the capacity of 600,000 litres of pure alcohol a year.
Right.
We split between our production between, we'd say, our own requirements, and then we do some contract distilling as well.
I did not know that.
Contract distilling at the moment is beginning to go through a decline, so we'll be moving away from the contract distilling element of it and just concentrating on our own make then going forward. And we have plenty capacity within the distillery to meet that.
Good. Very, very good. So online we can find you where? What is the address? www.
So it's www.osdc.com or www.keepersheartwhiskey.com.
That's easier.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's very good. Thank you very much. WhiskyJason here together with
Brian Nation, Master Distiller of Keeper's Heart.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Excellent.
Cheers. Thanks.